The thing I underestimated most about moving to France wasn't the paperwork. It was how unfamiliar everyday life would actually feel in the beginning. Before I moved, I thought the challenge would be getting into France, getting the visa, the logistics, the transition, and starting over with just a fraction of my things. And yeah, that part was a challenge and important. But once you're here, that's not what defines your experience. It's the stacking up of daily stuff that doesn't quite go the way you expect. There's this underlying logic to everything that you haven't figured out yet. Hell, even the smallest things that I took for granted in the US were different, either logistically or culturally. So when I moved here, I was staying at this cozy Airbnb. And by cozy, I mean I could stand at the kitchen sink, and if I sat directly down, I would be on the sofa. Also, no air conditioning, which is not uncommon. Unfortunately, that was a record hot summer, and I only had two windows that faced the sun all afternoon. Naturally, I thought it'd be a good idea to get some ice. Problem one, where to find it. Americans are quite used to having ice available, everywhere. That's not the case in France. Problem two, even if I found it, the freezer in my place was the size of a bento box. And I remember thinking, how is buying ice suddenly difficult? I've learned to adapt to the lack of ice, but it's clearly a moment when I realized I couldn't rely on my instincts anymore. And that's the shift. You go from operating on autopilot in your old life to having to think through everything. And it's subtle at first, but over time it starts to add up, because you're not just learning a new place, you're learning how to move through your days. And then eventually it clicks. You stop hesitating, you stop second guessing, and the things that felt foreign when you first arrived start to feel normal. But that gap in the beginning, when some of the days felt like every single thing was going to be a struggle, when the simplest things required brain power and frequently new vocabulary words, that's what I underestimated the most. So if you're planning this move, don't just prepare for the big transition, prepare for the daily stuff. That's where the real adjustment happens. If this is helpful and you're seriously considering the move, please subscribe and I'll keep sharing the realistic side of this journey. And if you're really considering the move here, I'm hosting free webinars for people who are serious about moving to France. And whether you're earlier in the process or you just want to DIY it, I also created a detailed guide with all of the information and tools you need to get your project rolling. Links to both are in the description. And whether you plan to move this year or 3 years from now, if you're serious, we should talk. Join one of the webinars to learn more. Ciao for now.